That's why they are trying to deploy police and military forces to prevent protests.
The Republican candidates have entered the final full day of campaigning before Super Tuesday, when voters will head to the polls in 10 states, including Ohio, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, and Massachusetts. On Saturday, Mitt Romney won the Republican caucuses in Washington with just under 38% of the vote. Ron Paul placed second with 25%. In other campaign news, President Obama's top political advisor, David Plouffe, was scheduled to speak Friday at a fundraising meeting for Priorities USA Action, a super PAC set up by Obama's former aides. Plouffe's appearance may be scrutinized because campaign finance laws ban coordination between independent groups and the candidates they are backing. Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to offer a legal defense today of the Obama campaign to assassinate U.S. citizens overseas who have alleged ties to al-Qaeda. Holder's speech comes 5 months after a U.S. drone killed the U.S.-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki in Yemen. Another drone strike in Yemen later killed al-Awlaki's teenage son, also a U.S. citizen.
Some coffee.
The head of the Arab League has announced Syria has agreed to allow former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan to visit Damascus Saturday. Meanwhile, hundreds of Syrian troops have entered the city of Daraa, where anti-government demonstrations began nearly a year ago. At least one person was killed.
I am so
Meanwhile,
grateful that
International
I'm
Committee of the Red
in
Cross
my
and the
bedroom
Syrian
right
Arab
now.
Red
I
Crescent are
really
still seeking approval from Syrian authorities to
created
enter Bab
a
al-Amr section
nice
of Homs
reality
to
for
help
myself here.
civilians there. Syrian
wish there was something I
armored
could
forces
do.
recaptured Bab al-Amr after an almost month-long
It's like it's
siege
just,
in which shelling
as
reduced
trite as it
much of the
sounds,
district to
just
rubble. Quoting local sources, Human Rights Watch
do what I
says about
can for other
700
people in my
civilians have
environment.
been killed and thousands wounded in Homs since a military assault in the city began on February 3rd. Paul Conroy, a British photographer who was injured in Homs, spoke to the media over the weekend about what he saw.
It's systematic slaughter. It's not a war. Free Syrian Army provide bread and meagre defence. This is not a war. This is a massacre. We're watching it, and once again, the world sits by and watches, and I have no answers for them people. Somebody has to break the geopolitical stalemate that is allowing this regime to crush the humanity out of Syria. It's a crime beyond of a scale I've never seen.
Meanwhile, Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez has voiced his support for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Chavez made the comment in a speech from Havana, where he's receiving medical treatment after doctors found a new cancerous tumor.
From here, we send our solidarity to the Syrian people, to President Bashar al-Assad, and we demand that he ask for the cessation of the armed aggression, not only diplomatic armed infiltration, armed mercenary terrorism to justify it. This is the same thing that was done to the Libyan people and to the government of martyred ex-president.
I'm going to go take a shower now when this
President Obama is scheduled to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
This is Democracy Now!, which is pretty good.
Iran's alleged nuclear
I
program.
like Democracy Now! And I like Al Jazeera.
The American Israel Public Affairs Committee. He
Not Al
vowed
Jazeera.
support for
Al
Israel and said the
Jazeera,
United States
English.
is ready to act against Iran
That's
with
pretty
all
good too.
elements of American power.
A nuclear-armed Iran is completely counter to Israel's security interests. But it is also counter to the national security interests of the United States.
Jeez.
Indeed, the entire world has an interest in preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has suffered a political setback after supporters of his rival clerical supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei won over 75% of seats in parliamentary elections. The election is likely to increase chances Ahmadinejad will be viewed as a lame duck president ahead of next year's presidential elections. Many supporters of Ahmadinejad lost their parliamentary seats, including his sister Parvin Ahmadinejad. We'll have a debate on Iran, Israel, the Palestinians, and Syria after headlines. An increase in polio in Pakistan is being linked to a secret CIA ploy used in the hunt for Osama bin Laden. With the help of a Pakistani doctor, the CIA set up a fake vaccination campaign in the city of Abbottabad in an effort to get DNA from the bin Laden family. A coalition of American aid groups have written a letter to CIA head David Petraeus saying the covert program has cast doubt on the intentions and integrity of all humanitarian groups in Pakistan and undermined the international humanitarian community's efforts to eradicate polio. Last year, Pakistan recorded the highest number of polio cases in the world. In news from Yemen, at least 106 people have died in heavy fighting between militants from the group Ansar al-Sharia and Yemeni troops. 55 soldiers were also reportedly taken hostage. The fighting began when militants conducted a surprise attack on military bases outside
if you want
Zinjibad.
to
In news from
hear
Asia,
some news
the
like this,
commander
which I
of
think
US
is pretty
Pacific
good news
Command has
reporting,
revealed
it's
the United
Democracy
States
Now!
has
On
special
YouTube.
forces in Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri
And as I
Lanka,
said,
Maldives,
Al Jazeera
and India.
English.
Admiral
I
Robert Willard made the comment last week at a congressional
like
hearing.
that one
Willard
too.
said the special forces are in India to help the country with their counterterrorism cooperation. In business news, shares of the oil giant BP are rising after the company reached a $7.8 billion settlement with
later.
businesses and individuals over the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil rig disaster. The